region rebuilt its economy after the steel bust a generation ago by making a big bet on eds and meds and the innovation flowing out of all the research that helped to retool established industries and create entirely new ones, especially in the life sciences and IT. Yet for all the success, there are indications that we're not getting the return on that investment that we should be in terms of new business formation and job creation. Last fall, the Brookings Institution laid out the challenge the region faces in a report called Capturing the Next Economy. And in response, in typical Pittsburgh fashion, a new public-private partnership is setting out to unlock the full potential of our innovation economy. It's called InnovatePGH. And Sean Luther is the executive director. And welcome back. Good to see you again.
Thanks, Bill.
Yeah, so what's InnovatePGH all about? What are you trying to do to address this challenge?
So as you said, what we saw in the Brookings Institution report is some very clear steps that we can make to really accelerate the assets inside the universities into a broader regional growth strategy for the city and really all of southwestern Pennsylvania. And so while we're doing a really good job making that connections now, I think we're really starting to understand that at Pitt and CMU and UPMC in particular, we have this really unique natural resource that not a lot of other cities have, and so we're going to set out to make sure we're taking full advantage of that. Well,
I think Brookings was pretty clear this last time we had you down here on the show that Pittsburgh really does play above its weight when it comes to innovation and inventing stuff, huh?
Absolutely. But even though we're already doing a good job, it's not to say that we can rest on our laurels. There's a lot of cities that are seeking to replicate our economic transformation, and the work that we're going to be doing, guided by that report and in close partnership with city and county officials and the universities, I think is going to be how we're going to stay ahead of that competition and really make sure this is part of Pittsburgh's economic story moving forward.
A lot to look at out there, so what's the focus of InnovatePGH going to be?
So we're focusing right now on three what I call lines of business. The first is the Pittsburgh Innovation District. So this is a place-based strategy that's centered on Oakland, but also focuses on connections to the neighborhoods where innovation is already happening. You think about what's going on in the Strip District in Lawrenceville, in Bakery Square, and you can almost make a clockwork all around the city.
You got all the life sciences on the south side.
Exactly. Autonomous research and advanced manufacturing. Those are elements in the city, but they all eventually tie back to Oakland as kind of the knowledge hub. So we're working with community groups in Oakland as well as in Uptown and other adjacent neighborhoods to make sure that you feel like you're in the midst of $1.2 billion worth of R&D, that you know that there's $2 billion worth of real estate development happening in that really dynamic corridor.
Wow.
And then the Innovation District itself becomes a platform to sell Pittsburgh as a landing spot for what we call frontier offices. So these are big Fortune 500 companies that aren't looking to relocate their headquarters to Pittsburgh, but are very interested in having smaller research outposts, software engineering divisions in direct proximity to Carnegie Mellon and Pitt.
Okay, well, I think about we got Google came many years ago and has grown its presence. We got General Electric sitting out by the airport doing additive manufacturing. You see a lot more opportunity for that kind of investment?
Exactly. Other cities have already catalyzed this opportunity, and you see big Fortune 500 companies moving into Center City, Philly, Midtown Atlanta, and InnovatePGH is going to be a platform for us to make sure that we're getting our piece of that pie as well.
I think like Research Triangle almost invented the idea about 50 years ago down in North Carolina, right?
Exactly, and I think it's important your comparison to Google is what we need to remember. Google started with less than 50 employees when they were incubated on CMU's campus, and now they're well over 800. So if we can concentrate on these 25, 35 person outposts like Philips Respironics' new office in Oakland, there's a huge growth potential once those folks actually get into the market.
Really big upside. Only a few seconds left, but I wonder what is the immediate next step? What you're going to be working on first?
A lot of what we're doing is finding out what we don't know and connecting with the folks that are driving the innovation ecosystem already. InnovatePGH is not a new standalone organization. It's not another nonprofit level of bureaucracy see in the economic development space. Our charge is really to accelerate and celebrate what's already happening from the innovation works of the world, Pittsburgh life science greenhouses of the world, and certainly our university partners.
Really exciting stuff. Sean Luther, Executive Director of InnovatePGH. More to come.
Thanks, Bill. Appreciate it.
Thanks, yeah. Next up, as the city of Pittsburgh transforms through technology, poverty is making its way into the suburbs. We'll focus on the implications when our region's business returns. Stay with us.